Here we are, 5 a.m. in the morning, sun's just barely coming up, and we're over here at New Art Creation wrought iron fabrication shop that I've been working with a little bit here and there, and it's really close to my house. I can walk here. We're gonna move this steel, all of this out of here. We're gonna do concrete, Connex to Connex, which is about 14 feet wide, 40 feet long. That's what we're gonna concentrate on today. I got the tractor over here. I got the bucket and forks. So I'm gonna run the forks, hook some of this stuff, move it on out. All right, I just broke out my new saw. Five and 3/8 blade. Look how small that battery is. Super lightweight. You could hang this on your tool belt and you'd feel just like a hammer. Yep, if you had to, this would be the one. If you're crawling around through raft or whatever, doing some detail, just hang this from your belt and you're good to go. Take a look at this battery here. There it is. There's your whole battery setup. Look at this little mini feather. Here we go. The moment of truth. Let's see if you can cut the mustard. Well, that cut real easy. That thing cut it like butter, stud. All right, getting back to the setup. This is a really easy setup because it's pretty well graded, because when they set these Connexes, they set them pretty much level. I checked them across and they were set pretty much level. There was only about a 1-inch deviation from how they were set from one another. So we have level pads in between those. They'll be covered with a metal roof. So it's going to make a great work area or a little shop. They insulate, air condition, heat, whatever they want to do with it. It's definitely doable. So all I did is wet the heck out of this. I wet it, a day before I flooded it. Then we came back the next morning, and now we're running the compactor. So this is actually day 2 here. We just did the forms and moved all the metal out. Day 2, we came back after a good soaking, compacted it. So we got good water down deep right now. Now we've got some flat rolls of wire mesh. These are 20-foot long sections, 7-foot wide. We just drop those in, real simple, about a 20-minute setup on the reinforcement. The wire mesh overlaps about 6 inches in the middle because they're 7-foot wide and this is 14 feet. So we got a little overlap, a little in from the edges, which is great. And this concrete mix is just your basic 3/4, about 1 inch minus actually is what they call it, a 1 inch minus. And it's a 2,500 PSI, and it's got fiber mesh. We did a pound per yard. So this is a 9 1/4. So we've got about 10 pounds of fiber mesh in here. Also, we have 1% retardant because this is 5 a.m. in the morning and we're at about 100 degrees already. We're expecting about 115, 120 today. Now, this is about my 3rd job with this Vibratory Screed from Milwaukee. I've never really used a Vibratory Screed till this. So it takes a little getting used to one of these items. And this is my 3rd job, and I'm getting pretty comfortable with using it at this point. And I've realized the advantages of it. And we're going to show a little bit of the advantages when we get to the second pour. We're going to show all this in one video. We're going to do this first pour all the way to the finish. We're going to get into the second pour. The second pour, we're not using the Vibratory Screed because it doesn't fit in between the Connexes, because it's only about 10 feet wide. And this is about a 12 foot, or it's right at 10, and I don't have the space to fit it in the other. So we went back to the old-fashioned way of hand screeding on the next pour, and we can see the differences in the finished product to some degree. And that's kind of what I wanted to share with you a little bit about the difference in the finishing. So this Vibratory Screed, it's vibrating the rocks down. It's bringing up the butter. It's putting a lot of cream on top. It's consolidating the mix. which is important. The more consolidation you have, the stronger it's going to be. However, some people would say when you're vibrating or tamping, you're pushing the rocks down, which is really the hardest part of the mix. And you're having more of the cream on top, which could be more acceptable to scratching. But in this case, the way we finish this with the Milwaukee cordless power trowel, hard trowel finish, I don't think it's going to matter. This is a 4-foot with a little swivel end on your bowl float, magnesium bowl float. And this is what you'd want to use in hot weather. You can just throw away that wood bowl float out here. And unless you're dealing in the winter, then you might want the woody. But right now you want to get her sealed up as quick as possible. You're not concerned with bleed water being trapped in the surface whatsoever out here. It's coming out one way or another, guaranteed. So we're going to hit it with the magnesium bowl float. And then also, we hit this with old Big Blue, I believe. I think I slapped Big Blue on here to try to even seal it up a little bit more before I broke out the power trowel. And you'll notice I have a little Milwaukee, I have a generator, battery power generator, and that's what I was running my lights off of this morning. And that thing will run indefinitely almost, because it's pulling very few amps off that light. I just plug it into the Milwaukee battery generator. No noise. You know, the same with the Screed, the power trowel. You don't have all that noise and emissions. Great for indoors. And it's nice if you just want to communicate, you know, because you don't have all that noise in the background. Now here's Doug, my brother, and Luis getting out there early. They got to catch the edges. Those power trowels just don't get underneath those walls. You see, we're working against that I-beam there. We're underneath it a couple inches, and you just can't get up against that tight with a power trowel. So that's always going to be handwork. I mean, they have some machines that'll get within, I think, 1 inch. They take the guard off or something, or they push the blades out further with a rotating guard so you can slam it right against the rail. And then you're not going to get hung up and thrown. But, you know, you just get out knee boards a little early before the sun comes up, preferably in this case, in this location. Get those edges laid down nice. And you can see where I'm running the float over after we kneeboard. You can see the holes the kneeboard is left. We got out there early because, you know, it's better early than late, I always say. So I'm re-bowl floating, flattening it out again. And of course, I'm going to run the pan on the power trowel, and that's going to even knock any of those out even more. I can get on it real early with the pan. So I'll hit it with that. And then I'll throw the pan out, and then I'll just go blades only. And you'll get a chance to see all that too. So yeah, this is going to make a great enclosed area for storage. Could be boats, RVs. Well, you're only 10 foot high, so an RV is probably not going to fit in there, but boats will definitely fit. So actually, I've already panned the other side, and then I came around, and it was just the way the concrete was drying. I have no idea why I did that. Went from one end to the other and carried the machine all the way around. One reason I did it probably that way is because I had the tractor to carry the machine. Now, if I had to carry it by hand, I probably would have just took the chance and shot across. Okay, so I panned it once. Now we threw it off. It seems actually wetter than it is because we used that vibratory screed. We knocked the rocks down pretty good with that. We got it really flat. The top surface has got a lot of workable cream on top. So it's gonna seem wetter than it really is at the surface. So I can only, my feet or the machine or anything is only gonna sink as deep as that cream goes at this point in time. So it's really excellent timing right now. And that's what concrete's all about, timing. If your timing's good, you can't lose. Sometimes your timing means you're going to have to really hustle to keep up, you know, but if you can do that, you're good to go. I got Brandon out here, my editor. He's running the camera today. So we're getting a few extra clips in there that I normally wouldn't get because I usually do all the camera work and the work, you know, the trowel, the setup, plus the camera work. In this case, I actually got a dedicated cameraman, but don't mistake, I had him doing a little work, physical labor too. He didn't mind it though. He said, man, this is great getting outside for a change, because he's a college student right now. So, you know, this is just a little side hustle for him, camera and editing videos. Oh yeah, I got Lewis on the machine right now. He was dying to get this because he's never seen one. I guess nobody has one out here in this area yet. And they're kind of scary. You know, when you're thinking batteries, you're thinking 120 degrees, you're thinking failure, you know, in these kind of conditions. And surprisingly, I haven't had no problems at all whatsoever with the batteries overheating or trying to shut down or anything like that. So however they did it right. Okay, so you've done concrete for how many years? 32 years. You've used a lot of machines probably, I'm assuming.
Yes.
But you've never used one of these, right?
No, that was the first time.
Well, what do you think about these compared to the gas-powered ones?
They are not so loud, it is lightweight, and it runs really, really smooth. I like it, I love it. If I got a chance, I will get me one of those and replace the gas power. That's
yeah. Nice. Yeah, I agree. That's the way I felt about it too. All right, so Luis is happy with the tool. That's what I've gathered here. I did put one control joint in this in the middle just to buy me a couple hours before she started cracking up on me, because that's what's going to happen out here. You know, if you don't get your joints in early, it's going to crack. And that's just, it does everything a lot quicker than it would anywhere else. So I got me one in, and my plan is I'm going to come back here once I get my hard trowel finish on this. I'm talking super hard where, you know, you could run across this and slide on it barefoot, you know, all the way from one end to the other. It's going to be like ice. So that's how hard this surface is going to be. Then what I'm going to do is come back here with the early entry saw from Milwaukee, and it's a cordless as well. And then I'm going to cut it up. I'm going to get on this thing probably 2 hours after I get finished, maybe 4. I'll probably wait 4 hours, and then I'm going to start cutting it up. And we're going to see how that surface holds together with that early entry saw. Because typically what you're going to see is a lot of spalling on your cuts. And usually that can happen within, you know, sometimes you got to wait at least 72 hours, you know, to get away from that spalling on your saw cut. But in this case, I was pretty fortunate. And you'll get this chance to see how well it worked. They do recommend, however, that you cut your concrete within 24 hours of the pour. But I got this cut a lot sooner than that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut all the way down the middle. So I'll have 7-foot sections on each side. And I'll make 2 more across. And then we have the one in the middle. So we'll have 8 sections total. And this is all said and done. So I hit it with the machine. Luis is just wiping it out with the funny trowel right behind the machine. I'm just drawing up the last bit of cream that can possibly be pulled up with the machine before it starts burning it black. Then he's just knocking that fuzz down and just making it, you know, beautiful. Here I am on top of the Connex, 10 feet high, spraying the concrete curing compound. All right, here we are at 9:34 a.m. We started the pour about 5:30. This is a complete wrap right now. Power trowel finish with just a light funny trowel over the top. So basically we've got a really tight finish. Then we put curing compound on this. I'm gonna come back here in about 4 or 5 hours and run that early entry Milwaukee cut machine and cut this up into about 7-foot sections, and it should be good. And then we're gonna pour it again tomorrow morning in between the other 2 connexes and the outside of the other connex. What's gonna happen is this is gonna be a full enclosure here. So now you're gonna have RV storage, or, you know, a lot more storage area. You get a door, nice big door here on that side, metal roof. You know, you've got lots of space then. Anyway, that's what's going on here. We make it happen all the time. All right, this is about 4 hours after we finished concrete pour, did the hard trowel. The metal shop worker, Saul, kept it wet every hour until I came back later in the afternoon to do this cutting. You can see there's a few little puddling, but it's not bad, and this will be enclosed, so it's fine. Now here it is. Here's the Milwaukee early entry cordless. I've already set the depth on this machine. I can set the depth. It has a pin that you can move from 3/4 of an inch all the way to 1.5 inch deep cuts. I've got this set at 1 inch deep, and we're just cutting it up. 1 inch is deep enough. Actually, 3/4 of an inch would be deep enough. But what you don't want to do is cut through your steel. So wherever your steel is set at, you just want to miss it, basically. So we're high enough, we're not going to hit the steel. So that was a real simple cut, real quick. All right, so this is 5 hours after we left the job. After we power troweled this and funny troweled it, we came back 5 hours later. We got our cuts in. Very clean, by the way. No spalling on the cracks. Really clean, nice and straight. That's what that fiber will do for you. Fiber and early entry saw keeps it all together. Now here we are the next day for the next pour, and this is a tight squeeze coming in here. Tell them to go forward. Go! Wow. Hey, forward! Stop! Cut! 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 Oh. Cut! Just going in the needle. So what we had is we had the big surge right at the beginning. It was just the way it lined up. So it came over the back of the form, and he wasn't seeing us, so we were all yelling to go forward. We had some shovel work and cleanup to do to get it back into the hole that we wanted to fill. And now here we are. We just got a screed, a 2x4 cut to length to fit in here. So this is the old-fashioned way on the screed system. The Milwaukee, you don't have to bend over with. You know, the Milwaukee screed, that's kind of a nice feature. You're not bent over all day. You're not working the glutes, though, either. You're just kind of pulling it back, leaning back with your weight, pulling that Milwaukee. In this case, when you're down like this, you're really working the glutes, and you'll feel it for a couple days, which is nice because you can skip the gym on that, or just skip that workout at the gym, I should say. We're pouring this at about a 5.5, 6 inch slump. Now, come along is really nice for the big rock. You won't see me using one of those on pea gravel, but if I want to move mud off of a tailgate special, I'm going to use a come along. And in some cases, I've used a tamp to pull large amounts of mud back. So the difference between the vibratory screed and hand rodding without a tamp is that you're not going to have that cream on top. You're just barely getting a little cream over the rocks. The rocks are near the surface, which means when you get out there on knee boards or with the machine, you're going to have rocks rolling over a lot of times, and you'll see those rock pockets popping up on you a lot more often than you would had you used the vibratory screed. That's about the only real difference. Plus, I think, you know, the vibration of the screed is kind of helping flatten it out as well. Here's my edge pounder. So that way we get rid of those rock pockets on the side. Rather than bending over and hit it with a hammer, I'll just grab a 2x4 about 6 foot, hit the side of the form with that. Plus, wood on wood, they don't ding each other. Like if I hit steel on wood, you're going to damage the wood. Little tricks like that, you know. Save your wood, hit it with wood. You know, even working with stone, you want to use stone to work with stone. Then you don't damage the stone. Or block. Block's the same thing. So on this particular one here versus the other, we're not going to use the early entry saw in this section. We're just going to go ahead and tool joint because we don't have the long 40-footer up the middle, and we've just got 3 cross joints. So we'll go ahead and cut them all, and that'll save me waiting around for 3 hours to get the early entry saw in. Also, we'll wrap it up. Basically, this is our final day on this job. I still will be using the power trowel, of course, because I want a good tight finish on this. So basically, by using the power trowel, when it gets this hard, you're really consolidating. Also, anything you may spill on here, if you want to use this as a shop, a metal shop, and you have oils or something on it, it's not going to penetrate that concrete as easy as it would if it was a broom finish. So it's a sealed surface, basically, when you really get a tight finish on it. Here's Big Blue knocking out some lines, getting it flat. Now I just brought the power trowel around from the center section to this outside area. Old Luis couldn't wait till I got off that machine. He'd love to grab that thing. He was hoping I'd drop down on the edges or knee boards if he got on that machine, but I'd just wait till he got off, and I'd jump back on it. It was like we were like fighting for that machine, through the whole process. Well, that's typical. Everybody wants to run the power trowel. Nobody wants to get on boards, Luckily, I'm the boss, so I get to choose what tool I want to use the most. I guess the next thing I have to do is get a sit-on rider power trowel, and then I just have to stay in there until the concrete gets hard enough. We're just running a 3/4 inch edger all the way around the perimeter. The joint's the same. It's a 3/4 radius. The trick with power troweling and having wet cut joints in there is you want to try to avoid closing that joint up, because if you keep knocking rocks back into it as the concrete gets hard, it gets really hard to open back up. Even Doug got on that power trowel. I was going against 2 guys trying to stay on that machine, and well, I got the most use out of it, I have to say. Here's that curing compound. It's all on there. I missed the final on this one because I couldn't move the tripod and power trowel at the same time. My cameraman failed me on that second day. That's why he got burned out on the first day, I guess. Oh, and by the way, what we're doing now, what I've decided to do to help people out, learn the trade even better than just watching videos. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, watching videos and doing the work are completely different. You're not going to learn it unless you get hands-on. So I'm offering a hands-on seminars, and you can find that through my website. Also, I can help walk you through your job at home or on the job, anybody's job, through the consultation. We can do Zoom meetings on site, walk through the whole thing and come up with a plan or any questions you might have, how to accomplish something on a job. You can set up a consultation with me. Through my website, you'll find all that. I have 2 tabs that I've added to my website where you can find those 2 items. And, if this is what you want to do and you want to learn it right, do the consultation. If you just need help for a specific thing, consultation should work. Anyway, if you like this kind of videos, keep watching them and hit the notification button. That way you'll be notified as soon as I pop another one. Have a good one, and thanks for watching.